Hey everyone, I wanted to give an update about content on this channel. Um, you've probably noticed that it's not really on the Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule that I've been saying I'm going to be doing things on, although you may not have even noticed that I've been saying that. I'm gonna try to aim for Tuesday, Thursday now, because it's a little hard to keep up with content generation at this moment. It's the changing of the seasons, like the winter weather over the last month, has really wrecked my sinuses, and it's been hard to get as many videos done as I would like. It's especially been hard to write and to plan videos. And the big problem with that is that I've really been trying to do more videos that are planned and higher quality, and that requires doing the writing and just putting in that work. Um, Another thing I wanted to get into is that there's a lot of videos I want to make right now that I cannot. There are different constraints that are causing this, and some of them will go away. Some of them can be mitigated, and some of them are going to be here for a while. And so, like I have this YouTube channel here so that I can make the videos that I want to make. Some people create because they want to make the content that they want to see. I make the content that I want to make, that I feel like creating. And sometimes that's an audiobook, sometimes that's an explanation video, sometimes that's a meditation. But a lot of times I've wanted to create something and I've tried to create something and I've actually failed. Like, you haven't seen it. And it's just because it did not happen um, to the degree that I could really share it. Sometimes this has been a lot of technical difficulties. For instance, the hypnosis audiobook, not the hypnosis audiobook, the iceberg video, has a completely different audio recording to it than I originally had. I originally took it in about 9 different takes, and then I was going to stitch the little videos together so that I could take it in parts and then um, not have to do it all in one uncut go. And what happened is that my computer was completely unable to render those clips together in any video editing software. It crashed trying, and I'm glad that it tried, but that means that I can't use it for that. And now there is another laptop in the house that can do this, but the simple fact of the matter is, right now I am no good at editing. And my husband is a really great editor, but he has a lot of work to do right now, so he's not going to be able to edit all of my videos as they come out. And so I've basically been, over the last few months, while I haven't had access to editing, or I've been trying to get things to where they could be edited, trying to figure out how to plan videos that don't require editing. And now I'm still in that situation where I still need to be able to make videos where I am not doing edits. Like, for instance, this take right here. It would be great if interspaced between all of these long talking moments, you would see me zoom in, or maybe even see a different camera angle or something. And I can't do that in this household right now. We can't do that in this household right now because we do not have the um we just don't really have it going for that right now. We have other things that we have to do. But it's on both of our priority lists for this to be a thing, that these videos eventually get the amount of touch they deserve, I guess. But that's going to take time. It's going to take time and a lot of effort on our parts here in this household. It may be that I get better at editing over time. One thing is that I experienced a lot of trauma last year, and it meant that my brain decided that I didn't get to do certain things for a while because parts of my brain were healing that contained the ability to do those things. So, I really haven't been able to edit. I have tried. I have managed to break so many things in the programs and on in the settings uh, on the computer trying to edit, and it's ridiculous because I've done this stuff before. I've done this stuff before and I've done just fine, but now it doesn't work. So I know I said that my computer can't take it, but like I am capable of using my husband's laptop, but it's just it is so much of a mental tax right now to try that I have had to reason out. It's like, okay, what's better? Putting out like multiple pieces of content a week and feeling like I really connected with people several times a week in that way, even if it's a lower amount of people, because the way that the video is made means that it's going to have less traction on YouTube. It's going to get to less people. The AI isn't going to like it as much. Um, or do I focus all of my content making efforts on making maybe one video a month? And I much prefer the several videos a week approach for now. Um, I I think that the one video a month approach would be very successful and compelling, but it would mean that I would have to take all of the ideas that I put out now several times a week and kind of scratch everything off the list except for one idea a month. And that's pretty difficult for me to do right now. A lot of the creative output I have right now is me trying to work through something in my head or just work through something. It's me doing work on the way to a conclusion. A lot of times the content that I post is me learning that content or learning something about that content. For instance, like, the book on the glands that I posted, that's not going to teach me a modern understanding of how glands work, but I want to understand the old understanding of how glands work to understand where these people were coming from and how it is that they thought. I want to know how a person from 1920 or so was thinking about glands when it came to magic and spirituality, because this was apparently something that they were factoring in a lot to what they were doing. And it's just not really talked about right now. So that kind of thing, I want to learn about, and I learn about it whenever I do the audiobook, and that's really valuable to me. So that audiobook in particular took off really well, like compared to the other audiobooks that I've posted. It like really it grew really fast. And I have some suspicions as to why, but right now I don't really have much idea of how to interpret how well content was received than like the number of views and the number of interactions and the quality of interactions. So whenever I see a video of mine gets like 3 times as many hits as the others in the same category, I start to pay attention. And I'm like, okay, what can I do that was similar to that the next time? Because obviously that was a more successful approach. So, um, audiobooks are pretty easy for me to do with what's going on right now because they don't really require many visuals. I don't have to be on the camera for the whole take, so it requires less preparation. I don't have to worry about my backdrop and all of that. And I whenever I record the audio tracks, I have the ability to pause the thing in the middle of the recording. In fact, I have the ability to pause this recording right now. In fact, let's see. I moved, and you have no idea how I moved. You have no idea how I moved. Yeah, so I can pause this, but I just keep forgetting to do it. Lesson to me. But I promise no more wacky stuff. There's a lot of videos that I want to do, like movie analysis, video analysis, response. I tried a response video to one of Matt Pat's film theory videos, and it didn't really work very well because I wasn't actually reacting to the video clip, and I wasn't really showing the things that I was reacting to. I didn't really have like I wasn't really doing a response that was quoting any of the video at all, and that's because of technical issues. It is really hard for me to get those clips in there right now. It's really hard for me to edit down clips to where I can pull them into the video software I use. I'm using OBS. So, like, there is an ability to bring video clips into OBS. But, it is somewhat rudimentary, and it's also limited by things like the amount of processing power that my computer has. Now, I also personally have some limitations when it comes to video subjects, and I want to talk about that. One, the thunder is my cat's upstairs. One thing is that it's a little hard for me to speak on spiritual subjects right now in terms of speaking from experience because I'm kind of taking I'm not saying a break from spirituality, but I'm kind of taking a hiatus from spirit contact that isn't like Link and the other spirits that you've seen during summoning Saturdays. I've basically taken a diet when it comes to which entities I work with. I'm not going to say that I'm not working a lot with deities and demons right now. It's more that if I'm working with them, I'm doing it subconsciously. My conscious life is not devoted a whole bunch to communicating with and working with them right now. Instead, um, it's like it's not like taking a break. It's more that it's been acknowledged that what our relationship is right now and how that is maintained is not something I'm doing on the conscious plane. And that's a whole bunch of like, woogity words, but basically, it's really hard for me to actually do work in the magical and spiritual areas right now. And so, what I can teach or demonstrate is kind of limited by that. There's a lot that I still can teach, and there's a lot that I still can demonstrate. But it's one reason I've been sticking to either audiobooks or teaching like higher concepts in magic, like the elements, or teaching psychological models like the Eighth Circuit model, because I can teach those no matter what's going on with like my spirituality stuff. And when it comes to divination and scrying, that's still very easy for me. In fact, it might be even easier right now. Um, and I'll at some point talk about the experience of this as a spiritual person, as a magical person. But first, I've really got to go through it. Sometimes I like to talk about things as I go through them, and sometimes it's obvious that I can't go through them unless I stop talking about them and I just experience them and fill you in on it later. So that's one of those times I just need to experience it. But the thing is, because I want to make content on this channel that um, either like reflects on what it is that I'm doing spiritually, or I just want to talk about that kind of subject matter. It does mean that it's hard to make videos on certain things sometimes. There's a lot of things I would like to comment on when it's in terms of like things that are happening on YouTube, trends on YouTube, stuff in the news, and I'll think about it and I'm like, is this when I actually want to be talking about this? And the answer is unfortunately no. And I hate that because I actually really like playing into current events and talking about what's relevant right now and what's going on in this moment. So, Wizard News. I do like doing Wizard News. That's another where I really wish that I had more media and more editing, and I'm still trying to figure out conceptually what Wizard News really is and what more it is that I can say there. How I can really make that into uh, the best that it can be. I got really good response on one of my Wizard Newses. That was the one on UAPs, and I know a lot of reasons why that succeeded, and I want to repeat them. I also, it's very easy for me to look into stuff like UFOs and UAPs right now. It doesn't really bump into my spirituality and religion stuff, but it still is very much to me a part of the occult and a part even of magic. I don't I don't know where everybody stands on the UFOs in magic um, topic. I know some people are really into the UFOs and the aliens and think that it's connected to a lot of the things that they do with spirituality, and some people are dubious, and some people are just downright like, no, there's no way. And I just find it a welcoming space to be in after a really long time in kind of a homogenous community. It's a little dicey since there's very few facts. Let's just be real on that. But it's also a very like it's a space that you can explore. And there's nobody telling you what it is that you have to believe, or if there is, then well, guess what? It's just watch the Men in Black or something. Yeah, I really like talking about those subjects and explaining them from kind of a level-headed point of view. I say level-headed because I apply a lot of critical thinking when it comes to the UFOs and UAP things. The reason for this is that I actually got into UFOs a lot whenever I was a kid and in my preteens, and I did a lot of research, a lot of reading. I didn't just watch X Files. I didn't just watch the alien autopsy video. I did research on how they could tell the alien autopsy was fake. And I was doing this as a kid, and as a kid I really wanted to believe that stuff was true that I was finding out was just really not true. And so I kind of grappled with that feeling of like, I want to have faith in this, but I also know this is not actually an area where faith will matter as much as facts. And I think that really helped me in life to grapple with these thoughts. So I think the UAP and UFO space is really important for anybody who's trying to figure out what the truth is, because there's a lot of variables at play in that space, especially because militaries and governments are involved so much with the UAP stuff. I mean, most of the information that we have about UFOs and UAPs is because the U.S. military picked up something that might be a weather balloon or might not, and we found out about it. And also, there's been all kinds of defense technology test flights and stuff like that that people will see and think maybe that's a UFO, maybe that's, or they don't think that's a UFO. They think, oh, that's a UFO because I can't identify it, but maybe it's actually aliens UFO. So, that's getting kind of off subject, but basically, it's a fun, exciting subject matter that is fun to talk in, and I notice there's a lot of people who want to listen to it. So, that's not going to be the whole channel. None of this is ever going to be the whole channel. One of the things I'm finding is that I want to run this YouTube channel as a TV channel. Excuse me. A TV channel, and the thing about a TV channel is that no TV channel runs just one show. They run different shows. There's different programming that happens on one TV channel or TV station. And so I want this channel to be like that. I want there to be different shows. That's why I have Wizard News. That's why I have Summoning Saturdays. Um, it sets up kind of an expectation for what it is that I'm going to be doing in the video, and it also just helps give people an idea like, hey, this isn't just the Felix show. This is the Felix channel, and there are a lot of things that happen here. And I think it also just helps people find things according to their interests. I don't expect that that anybody who comes here is going to watch every video. I do watch a lot of like how to do YouTube kind of channel guides, like they're talking about how to do thumbnails and how to do titles, how to whether or not you should be targeting search and stuff like that. And it's interesting and all, but at the end of the day, I just want to make videos that I enjoy making. So, um, sometimes I'm just really not going to be doing a lot of wise for YouTubers to do kind of things on this channel, and sometimes I'm going to be prioritizing things differently than often you're recommended to do for YouTube. And one of the ways that I'm doing it differently is I'm just I'm focusing on creating content now, and like showing up for that content, making the content, being in the videos, like doing this right now. This is what I'm focusing on. I'm trying to get used to doing this. I'm just trying to get used to being on camera. I'm trying to get used to who it is that I am on camera and how it is that I can be. And before I have that, I just really don't think it's important to stress the visuals of these videos a lot, because um, like quite simply, the future is going to have better videos. Uh, this channel is going to be growing a lot over the course of time. I don't know at what rate. I can't really project by what point it is that we'll be doing edited videos, because time is a moving target. But I can say that things will constantly be improving. You'll see constant change. I want to try to do the Tuesday Thursday with regularity posting, but you'll also see videos in between. Like, it's kind of funny that I'll say I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I do a bunch of like 3 videos on a Thursday. Those are just my two cats being cats together. I have 3 cats, but those 2 cats like to be cats together. So, um, basically, sometimes I feel like a video that I make, either it's a live video and so it needs to be live, so it doesn't matter what it is, what day it is. I'm just gonna do it live right then, or it's like a video that is gonna work if I post it right then, especially if it's news related. The George Santos one, that was uh, a live Wizard News. That was one that I wanted to be commenting like right then when it happened, because he had said something in a very interesting way in a recent news article. And whenever it's news, I really want to comment on it as soon as it happens because it's newsworthy. So then, I'll have content actually scheduled that I meant to just, go ahead and put up. And I'll be like, okay, well, do I just wait to do that because now I already have a video up? Or do I do the regularly scheduled content and everything in the middle is just kind of a bonus? And then I think, well, I want to give access to my patrons on Patreon for, early access videos. So there's some videos I need to be holding so that they can see them first. Or, basically, I need to have enough time go by that they can see them first. So there's like a lot of sort of planning back and forth that goes on when I'm trying to figure out how often do I do videos, when do I upload them, and what it is that they're going to be about. While I'm kind of in this technological waiting zone, you're gonna mostly see ebooks from me or videos where I talk through a subject, but you don't see me on screen a lot because it's just easier to do those. I really wish that my videos were more visually interesting sometimes, but I don't really have the editing capability quite yet. And like, I'd say like maybe in a couple of weeks, my husband and I set up some kind of video editing pipeline where we can start to introduce some visual flavor to what's going on with some of these, or maybe it is that we get something set up to where it's a lot easier for me to sit down and work on his laptop to do the editing. But we know that only his laptop is going to be able to do the rendering for the editing. It's just so much easier to do one take videos like this that it's kind of hard to resist the temptation to just go ahead and do those. So, um, I haven't done art videos in a really long time. I don't really have the space for it, and I'm not really feeling like that right now. So there will be art videos sometime in the future whenever I'm, kind of in a better space for that, physically and mentally. Like that's a lot of times you'll see me do something and then maybe a few months go by before I do it again. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to be doing it forever. It just means that that's kind of that's back in the cabinet for a while I work on something else. Um, and there's like it's really difficult. There were a lot of times where I wanted to do videos because I had like very strong opinions on certain topics, and I'd kind of try to get those out like a rant. And certain videos like that really succeed a lot on YouTube, but I don't really feel like being in that space. I don't really um I I just I don't feel a lot of actual reward inside from doing videos where I'm frustrated or angry. So, some of those I've done in the past, you may just see less of as time goes on, or it may just take me actually getting truly angry about something for me to do another rant video. It's really hard for me to be in the projecting anger, even hyperbole based anger headspace right now. It's like that itself is like something that is kind of repairing in my head. So, that means I kind of have to stick to drier topics, which is again why we have the audiobooks and such. Now, when it comes to the books that I'm reading, I don't really know if YouTube wants different books than what it is that I'm providing right now. I'm gonna finish out the hypnosis book. That one's got, I think 17, yeah, 17 chapters. I think that one's really worthwhile. But like there's one-offs where I can't tell whether YouTube's gonna like this or not, and um, like I know I have the ability to put a poll up, but it's more like I don't know how the algorithm's gonna treat it, and gosh, it sure is weird trying to figure out what is gonna make it on YouTube here in 2023, huh? I know everybody's got this problem. there's a lot of stuff I'd like to do divination on, like do divination type of things on current events and news, but I'm not quite sure what the format is that I want for it yet, and I don't quite have a physical layout for it. But that might be something that you see in the next couple of months, because that's something that I could pretty easily do in one go or with pauses. Um, the biggest thing is that if like something has to render a video, then I'm not going to be able to do it right now. But if the video already exists as soon as I hit stop, then I can upload it on YouTube, make a thumbnail, and I'm gold. So, um, that's that's kind of where I am right now. Um, I'm gonna be doing less live videos probably because my live connection is bad. We need a bridge, a Wi-Fi bridge to boost the router. There's a long distance between it and my computer, and so until we do that, streaming stuff from my office is just going to be unreliable. I'm still going to do summoning Saturdays slash summoning Sundays, and there actually, the latent connection is part of the bit. Because every time that the connection seems to glitch out during summoning Saturdays, it emphasizes something that a spirit is saying, which is cool. But I don't. I wish I knew how to do anything with that. One ongoing thing that I've been thinking about is how to not necessarily prove psychic powers are real, but to at least be able to demonstrate magical and psychic abilities with reliability. And it's really difficult because I've compared this to the stage magic space, and in the stage magic space, the problem is that a stage hypnotist or mentalist or a seance operator who does that for a job and does bookings and stuff, their stuff works 100% of the time because they load the deck, literally. And I'm not complaining. They actually have a trade where it needs to work 100% of the time because they're doing it on stage all the time, and every single time that you do the trick it needs to work, which means it can't be psychic stuff. It needs to be a trick. um and unfortunately, because people have seen this mentalist stuff kind of work on stage or wherever, kind of almost 100% dependably, um it's hard to figure out how to demonstrate abilities that really don't work like that, because actual psychic abilities, as far as I can tell, um, are a lot harder to pigeonhole into something that happens the same way each time. Um, a lot of times, the real problem is that psychic ability seems to be dependent on actual need. And so you can have something happen, but if that need doesn't arise again, or you can't demonstrate the need, have the need come up on cue, then you're never going to be able to do it for a video. Um, and there seems to be a component on the other end that understands whenever it's being used. So you can't just set it up. Uh, the other end will think that it's being faked out, and it won't participate. The other end is basically the psychic powers. So I've been trying to think not only of how does one demonstrate going under those constraints, but what are the rules of psychic abilities? What are the physics of psychic abilities? And if the physics of psychic abilities are just actual reality physics, then how does reality's physics interplay with psychic ability? And I have some observations and some theories, but nothing concrete enough to make a video about, which is a bit frustrating. Um, and I really don't want to get too mixed up with the stage magic and mentalist space because that's their own thing and they can have it. I just like, um, it's especially difficult because there are also, of course, psychics who are cold readers or hot readers or what the heck ever, people who just like do a lot of manipulation to be able to demonstrate some sort of psychic ability that doesn't really exist beyond their stage show. And that makes it really difficult to even use the word psychic because people associate that with basically a parlor trick for money. And I'm more just wanting to say like, hey, so are other people experiencing latent telepathy? Is it working like this? Well, this is how I deal with that when it works like that. But I'm not trying to do a tutorial on how you can do stage telepathy. That's I'm gonna give you a shortcut. Everything is rigged. If you rig it ahead of time to where it works 100% of the time, you've done the trick. That's how all of it works. It's all just a trick. And the reason it's all just a trick is not because psychic or magic ability doesn't work. It's because if you need something to work 100% of the time for show business, it needs to be a trick. That's just the reality of it. There's all kinds of things about psychic ability, like, if the lights are too high, it's really hard to deal with. There's too much electricity around, if the weather or the stars are out of alignment. TV schedule can't put up with that. Figure out your stupid trick. So, yeah, totally different space to be in. Um, I want to do more Goetia stuff. I have a big Goetia thing that I'm working on that I'm going to talk about probably in a separate video. But basically, I have several Goetia videos that I want to work on, but they have taken more work and more organization. There's been a big organization thing I've been trying to do so that I can do, like, I can talk more on demon stuff. And once that's done, I'll be able to do so many videos. It's just a matter of getting it all the way there. Um, and then I don't know. I guess that pretty much wraps it up. My health is better now than it's been over the it's better now than it was in 2022. I'll definitely tell you that. And I'm really looking forward to what the year has in store. Some good things looking up already. At some point, you'll see much more visually interesting videos here. At some point, I'll be trying out new formats that are a lot more exciting. You'll see more media critique and media analysis where I actually have the media there for me to respond to, as opposed to me just talking about like one little still. Um, so just look forward to that. And then until then, I'm trying to do YouTube videos that are held to a certain standard, but I have to work with what I've got here. So, thanks for bearing with me. And I'll see you in the next video and the next series. Bye bye.